And to begin around the hardwood, let's look at it. Beginning with sources, Michael Jordan agrees to sell Hornet States for $3 billion. Michael Jordan was the majority owner of the Charlotte Hornets for over a decade, I believe. It probably been 13 years, I believe. And he's done some. He tried to do some good things for the organization. Just didn't work out. Charlotte just one of them teams that you don't care about, as far as an NBA fan goes. It's not one of the teams that you have high on your list. Mostly at the bottom of your list when it comes to teams that you look forward to seeing. He had the good old days when you had Okafor and Kimball Walker in them days in the mid 2000s. But outside of that, Charlotte hasn't been really much to look at. You had your couple of years, about a couple of years ago, when Lamelo Ball and crew was making play-ins, but not playoffs. So it hasn't been working out for Michael Jordan in Charlotte. So he has minority owner. He's still part owner of the Charlotte Hornets. He does no longer being the majority owner. He's giving that to somebody else. So that took place 4 days ago. So that is what it is on that one. And hey, who knows? Maybe going in a new direction. Maybe what the organization needs for them to try to do some good things in the city of Charlotte. All right. Moving on. John Morant suspended for 25 games by the NBA. Okay. We was waiting for the punishment to be handed down from our Silver because he did not want to do it during the NBA Finals. He was trying to be condescending of not creating headlines outside of the NBA Finals between the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat. But season is over. Denver won the championship. Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets. Now the suspension has been handed down. The punishment has been handed down to John Morant, which is 25 games. And there's a lot of factors in this one, just so to speak. But before I get to the factors, as you can see here on the left is the NBA's communications law for what happened. And it says here, June 16, 2023, the NBA announced today that Memphis Grizzlies guard John Morant has been suspended for 25 games without pay for contract detrimental to the league. Morant posed a firearm in the car during a live stream video on May 13th, less than 2 months after he was suspended 8 games without pay for a live streaming of a video on March 4th in which he displayed a firearm while in an intoxicated state at a Denver area nightclub. They go on to say Morant's suspension begins immediately and will remain in effect through the first 25 games of the 2023-2024 NBA regular season, for which he is otherwise eligible and able to play. He will also be required to meet certain conditions before he's returned to play and will be ineligible to participate in any public league or team activity, including preseason games, during the course of his suspension. He can't be around the team. He can't be in the link. He can't be in the arena. Can't do nothing. But the NBA goes on to say John Morant's decision to once again wield a firearm on social media is an alarming and disconcerting given his similar conduct in March, for which he has already suspended 8 games. NBA Adam Silver says. He continued on to say the potential of other young players to eliminate John's conduct is partly concerning. Under these circumstances, we believe a suspension of 25 games is appropriate and makes clear that engaging in reckless and irresponsible behavior with guns would not be tolerated. For Ja, basketball needs to take a backseat at this time. Prior to his return to play, he will be required to formulate and fulfill a program with the league that directly addresses the circumstances that led him to repeat this destructive behavior. That's the word from the NBA and Adam Silver. On the right side is what John Morant says in his statement. For those of you can see it on YouTube. Those of you who are listening to the audio version, here it says, quote, I have had time to reflect and realize how much hurt I've caused. I want to apologize to the NBA, to the Grizzlies, my teammates, the city of Memphis, to Alexander Zach Clean and Robert Perry, who gave me the opportunity to be a professional athlete and have supported me. I am sorry for the harm I have done to the kids who look up to me. I am sorry for failing you as a role model. I promise I'm going to be better. To all my sponsors, I'm going to be a better representation of our brands. To all my fans, I'm going to make it up to you, I promise. I'm spending this off season and my suspension continue to work on my mental health and decision making. I am also going to be training so that I am ready to go when I can come back on the court. I know my teammates are going to hold it down, and I am so sorry I won't be out there with you at the beginning of the season. I hope you'll give me the chance to prove to you over time I am a better man than what I have been showing you. That is from the point guard John Morant himself. I could go ahead and go off, which I did back then when you got suspended, when you did it the second time, but I ain't gonna do it. Cause not only the suspension, see what most and when the suspension headed down, you had some people say, "Oh, they doing too hard on him," or something is not even enough. Y'all do realize that he can't make All NBA next season. You have to play a certain amount of games to make All NBA, and when you make All NBA, you are eligible for a max contract. This suspension for making a bad decision once again. Now it has cost John Morant at least $40 million. That's because he can't make All NBA. Simply because he can't make All NBA. And All NBA returns into max contracts. You want to know why Boston Celtics have a dilemma with on their hands? Because both Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown both made All NBA teams, and they both have max contracts they can get. Next year, John Morant won't be up for a max contract. You losing at least $40 million, and you suspended without pay, which is add even more to the $40 million that you're losing already. So I hope from this time in 25 games, so we talking probably in November when he's coming back. The season begins in what, October? Actually, no, we talking around about December, maybe Christmas time when John Morant might be coming back. Because the season starts in mid October. 25 games, that's probably a month time, month and a half. So yeah, we're looking around Christmas time for John Morant to come back to play for the Memphis Grizzlies. Dude, you already missed 1/4 of the season as it is, so that already hurts. Money wise, it hurts. We're gonna see what your endorsement deals are if your sponsors still want to sponsor you or not. We're gonna see how that goes. But John, you gotta be better, bro. Whatever you gotta do it so you can be better and show everybody that you're better. If you have to change the circle that you're with, change the circle that you with. Everybody's not meant to join you in your journey. Everybody has a time and place in your life. Everybody can't roll with you to the promised land. Some people got to get off before the promised land. Some people got to get off before you hit the stardom, before you hit that mega deal. Some people got to go. That's the way life is. You cannot continue to hang around the same people if this is the same people that get you in trouble. Now, it's not their fault because you're a grown man, you make your own decisions. But everybody can't join the ride, y'all. Because everybody just can't join the ride. You love them. They was there for you when you're down. But everybody cannot be on the journey to the promised land. It's just the way life is, man. So do what you got to do, man. Get right. Get back on the court. You are the face. You're not just a face of an organization. You're not just a face of the NBA. You are the face of the entire Memphis city. Okay? When they see John Morant, they just don't see NBA. They just don't see the Grizzlies. They see the city of Memphis when it comes to you, John Morant. You're the face of that entire city. There's no NFL team that plays in Memphis. The college team, The university is not that big enough to be in the limelight like that. Memphis has a great program, football and basketball. Penny Hardaway coaches the basketball team, but they're not big enough like that. You're not gonna see Memphis in the bright lights with the Kentucky or North Carolina, UCLA or Duke in basketball and football, Alabama or Ohio State or USC, Georgia. Memphis is not in that light in college. It's the Grizzlies, and you're the face of that organization, which makes you the face of that city. So do what you gotta do, man. Get back on the court because you are a spectacular basketball player on the court. Do what you gotta do, man. Do what you gotta do. Moving on. Lou Williams, 3-time Sixth Man of the Year, retires from the NBA. Lou Williams, the most productive bench player in NBA history, is hanging it up. Lou Williams is one of them guys that I enjoy watching. That man was a bucket. Let's not kid ourselves, okay? That man was a bucket when he stepped on the court, and more so coming off the bench. Okay, now, like I said, Lou Williams, who had made his mark in the NBA coming off the bench over the course of a 17-year career, announced retirement Sunday. Williams revealed the decision in a YouTube video narrated by his daughter that covered his journey to the NBA and time in the league. The 36-year-old Williams won 3 Sixth Man of the Year awards in 2015, 2018, and 2019, tied with Jamal Crawford for the most in NBA history. Ryan appearing in 1,123 games with only 122 starts, he set an NBA record with 13,396 points off the bench, which is 2,117 more than Jamal Crawford. Lou Williams averaged 13.9 points per game, along with 3.4 assists per game, while he played for the following teams: the Philadelphia 76ers, the Atlanta Hawks, the Toronto Raptors, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Houston Rockets, and the Los Angeles Clippers. Thus, his final game came in Game 6 of the first round of the Eastern Conference playoff when the Boston Celtics took out the Atlanta Hawks in 6 games. That was his final game. That was back in April. Lou Williams was the 45th overall pick in the 2005 draft. Out of the 60 players taken that year, only Chris Paul has scored more points in that draft than Lou Williams. Lou Williams finished his career with 15,593 points, 131st in the NBA history. Congratulations, Lou Williams, on a career. Congratulations on being one of the most productive bench players that the NBA has ever seen. And we wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors. Now we get to the main topic of the NBA offseason thus far. The Suns finalizing trade for Wizards Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal was in a trade to the Phoenix Suns, as the Phoenix Suns would be, as the Phoenix Suns sending Hall of Famer future Hall of Famer Chris Paul, a boatload of second round picks. And I do believe they're supposed to be, and Landry Shamit to the Washington Wizards for just simply Bradley Beal. Now, first and foremost, you see that guy on that screen right there, those of you who are watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter? That is Kendrick Perkins. And what they put right there, it says Perkins. Suns are best team in basketball after Beal trade. Um, First of all, what makes them the best team in basketball? Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal. You got 3 scores, 3 shooters. Okay. You just let go of your point guard and Chris Paul. Is Cameron Payne gonna be your starting point guard now? Who's gonna be the point guard? Okay. You let go Landry Shamet, who came off your bench after you had to let go Dorian Finney-Smith, Mikal Bridges, and Cam Johnson to send to Brooklyn, which depleted your bench, which is the problem. You got ran out in six by the Denver Nuggets to begin with. You don't have a bench, and you just lessen the bench, even though you have a buttload of second round picks. So first of all, you don't have no floor general, and secondly, you have no defense, and thirdly, you have no bench. What makes the Phoenix Suns better than the Denver Nuggets, Kendrick Perkins? Because I do recall the Denver Nuggets just won the NBA championship. I do recall ain't none of their starters or key players are at the age of 30. Matter of fact, Nikola Jokic is the closest one. He's at 28. What makes Phoenix better than Denver? Somebody tell me, because Kendrick Perkins says the Suns are the best team in the NBA. I just don't recall because I just watched the Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat in 5. Okay, and Miami gave them all they can handle. I watched them sweep the Lakers, sweep LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the Lakers gave them all they had outside of D'Angelo Russell. Phoenix in 6. After Devin Booker went crazy in games 3 and 4 in Phoenix, he went back to Denver, got smacked up, and then Denver came back to Phoenix and smacked them again. And actually smacked them worst. And then that's the Minnesota Timberwolves, who didn't have a chance in hell to beat Denver. And everybody knew it. So what? Somebody explain to me what Perk is trying to say here by saying the Phoenix Suns is the best team in basketball. And by the way, they're not better than the Boston Celtics. They're not better than the Milwaukee Bucks. They have no. Both teams in the East have benches, and they have point guard play, and they play defense. Well, more of the Bucks than the Celtics. I don't know what happened with the Celtics. They played defense one year and it was spectacular. In the following year, which is this past season, they forgot how to play defense. So. But nevertheless, name me teams that the Phoenix Suns are better than with the Bradley Beal trade. Okay, the Nuggets won the championship, and they ain't going nowhere. They gonna have pretty much the same damn team coming back, unless Bruce Brown decides to go somewhere else. But I highly doubt it. The entire starting five is on a contract, so that Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, they all on the contract. Christian Brown, he was just a rookie, so he going into his second season. I forgot Michael Porter Jr., who actually stepped up in Game 6 to help close the deal for the Denver Nuggets. Mike Malone's still the head coach. That's something that got on my nerve because I'm listening to Perk and I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? What makes the Phoenix Suns better than the champions? What makes the Phoenix Suns better than the top 2 teams in the East? Tell me something. Okay? They may be better than Memphis because Memphis is on the immature side, as you just talked about earlier about Ja Morant getting suspended. So we go see about Memphis. Lakers is questionable. We gonna see about the Lakers and who's gonna be on the roster. But LeBron James, don't get me started on the goddamn Clippers. I'm gonna wait my months before I even have to address the Clippers on that one. So I'm just gonna wait. Okay. But if anybody agrees with Perk on why the Phoenix Suns the best team in the NBA, let me know, please. Facebook, Twitter, comment on here. Let me know. Because I don't see the Phoenix Suns being the best team in the NBA. That's Denver. As my good buddy Brian Snow says, to be the champs, you have to unseat the champs. And the champs that are sitting in that seat right now is in the Mile High City. Until otherwise, I don't want to hear nothing about Phoenix Suns being the best team. I really don't. But nevertheless, the Phoenix Suns have a big 3 now. Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and now Bradley Beal. Wonderful offensive players. Each of them averaging over 20 points a game. So that's at least 60 right there for them 3. How much? What was the average points of the NBA this season? I'm curious. I'm doing live research here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna do research on this one. So from this past season, it looks like so. Looking at this now, I'm getting this information from Sports Kita. Says in the 2020 season, teams are scoring 114.2 points per game, which is the ninth highest in league history. So we saying 14.2 points per game. Each of these three guys, and Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal, average at least 20 points a game. They average at least. So if I'm doing the math correctly, right, at least 60. So we're talking 114.2 minus 60. So the rest of the team, whoever Phoenix decides to put around them, we're gonna see what they do with DeAndre Ayton. The rest of the team has to combine for at least 54 points. Do the Phoenix Suns have a team that can combine for 54 points outside of them three? Do they? I don't see it. I don't see it. Tell me who's on the Phoenix Suns team outside of those three. Who can help get the 54 points? Because that's what team was averaging this past season, 114. With these three combining for at least 60, at least 60. They gonna give you 60 at least. Anything less than that, you definitely in trouble if you Phoenix. But they gonna give you at least 60. Can the rest of the team get you 54? That's the question. Because you have no defense. Who's gonna play defense? DeAndre Ayton, they say DeAndre Ayton is the defender. He don't play defense. He don't block shots. Don't nobody go in the hole and is scared of DeAndre Ayton. So how is Matt Isbron and apparently Isaiah Thomas? Because apparently Isaiah Thomas is about to be taking a role inside the Phoenix Suns organization because he was part of the Chris Paul thing. From what Chris Paul was saying, Isaiah Thomas had something to do with the whole Chris Paul being traded to Washington and out of Phoenix. So, what are y'all gonna do with defense? How y'all gonna fill out the rest of your team? Okay, because I can tell you this right now. This past playoff, that Phoenix Suns did not average nowhere close to 54 points. Nowhere close to it. So let me know. And speaking of Chris Paul, we shall see what happens with Chris Paul. Uh, he could get traded. That's what the Wizards are trying to do. They're trying to get something back for Chris Paul. They don't want to lose him as empty-handedly. But if not, they could buy him out and let him roll to one of the two schools in LA, whatnot, Lakers or reuniting with the Clippers. Both teams can use a point guard anyway. And like I said, I'm gonna wait my months before I even talk about the Clippers. But we shall see what the future holds for Chris Paul. But for right now, he's in the nation's capital with the Wizards as of right now. Until then, we're gonna see what happens. But hey, that's the around the hardwood session for you, NBA style.